Yo.
Oh, you gonna start it off?
Yo, I don't forget all the intro, all that crap. I don't even think I'm gonna make it past 48 hours. Tonight is crazy. I'm telling you, crazy. My heart can't take it.
Yeah.
My heart can't take it.
And if you ain't figured it out, we watching it when y'all watching it, recording in between. So we're gonna get right on into it because we need to finish this up. Listen. I don't know what's happening, but Tyler, you saved all your best writing for the end.
You shooting all your bullets at us tonight.
Bang, bang.
Boom, boom.
Candace pooching around her house, and she pops around the corner. Who's standing there but Warlock?
Mm-hmm.
Warlock said, what you tell Benny? I ain't tell him nothing. You trying to tell him not to work with me. She was like, look, I just don't want my brother to get hurt. He said, all right. He's all right, but just know this. He slapped the piss out of her.
Pow.
Don't try me. Don't try me. Now, at the same time, he having this dialogue with her, knock at the door. Come in. Woo, save me, Jesus.
Yeah.
It's Erica.
Miss Erica.
Now, this is where I need y'all to help me out.
Yeah, because it got weird right here.
Because I don't know whether or not we missed something or Tyler messed up or what's happening. But remember when Erica first came on the scene, they led us to believe that her, Candace, and War all ran in the same circle and was working together at one time, right?
Yep.
So why when Erica comes in the house, Candace introduced her to War. They like, hey, like they don't know each other.
Yeah.
War said, oh, I got the, I'm getting ready to leave anyway. Come walk to the door. Look, bitch.
Got 48 hours.
Yeah, your time just got moved up.
Got moved up.
I said, okay. So then Candace goes to sit down and Erica's over there just visibly shaking. Just shaking. She said, oh, what's wrong with you? She said, I'm scared for you.
Candace said, no, you're not.
I said, ooh, call her out on it. Call her out.
Her.
But she didn't. She said, look, he didn't even recognize me. She was like, who, War? She was like, yeah. He's dangerous. He's going to hurt you, Candace. And Candace was like, I know that.
Yeah.
I know he going to hurt me.
I know her.
Well, come to find out that the girl that they was naming off a few episodes ago about, you remember what he did to Sally Sue and Jasmine? Jasmine is her sister. He mutilated her for $700.
She owe him $2 million, so what in the hell he gonna do to her?
Then at the same time and in the same breath, that goddamn girl handed over some documents talking about I got everything ready for you. All you gotta do is sign and go to the bank. I said.
Because it shifted so fast. Now, I'm probably being a little bit optimistic, but my street sense is kicking in. I think this girl is working with War to get this money out of Candace.
Something ain't right.
Something ain't right. Something is not right.
Yeah. So then she's telling her, she was like, look, you need to hurry up and leave because I need to go get my son. Oh, don't you bring your son here?
Yeah.
War gonna come up in here and tear the place up. You don't want your son in here. She said, look, we not parents.
We not parents. That's the truth. My daddy got my kids. Candace was like, no.
Not mine.
Shut up. Now I'm going to get my son.
She said, your son been doing good without you all this time. In so many words, don't mess it up now. Candace said, say another word and this skit is over and I'm not playing no more.
Yeah. Because she don't even know what that boy done been through. So he ain't doing all right.
I said, what you don't do, don't put your kids in it.
Yeah.
Don't talk about the kids.
Don't put your church members in here.
So then we see David. He done finally ran out of gas because we driving around Atlanta for 2 episodes because the gas prices went down. He finally runs into the jail. He's like, Jim, I said, if he say, I'm going to show you an enemy like you never seen before, I'm going to lose it.
I'm going to scream.
But he said, what did you do, Jim? And I need you to call it off. Jim was like, what?
What you talking about? I don't know what you talking about.
He said, you put a hit out on my wife. Jim was like, I don't know what you talking about. David said, look, throws him the phone. Call it off. Jim was like, look, David, I don't know what you're talking about. He said, if you don't call it off, give me her address. Jim said, wait a minute.
You player, you don't know your wife's address?
And he started laughing. And then that goddamn David said, look, Jim, I'm not playing with you. If anything happens to my wife, so much so as a hair on her head, Jim said,
you mean this hair?
Talking about this hair right here?
I was not expecting that. And first of all, how in the heck did he get the hair? How did he get the hair?
David said, look, if something happened to my wife, I will testify against you and show you an enemy like you've never seen before. He didn't say that, but I said that.
Yep.
So he said, look, David, it's too late.
Yeah.
I said, oh, crap. David said, all right, babe. All right, I'm going to stand right here.
Get my phone back.
And if I hear anything come over this phone that's a reference to my wife
being hurt in any way.
And he said, ooh, I'm so scared. The hair on my head is standing up. I said, Jill, you not funny.
You need to stop, boy. You need to stop.
So then we get Candace. She at the bank. She thinking that she gonna get all this stuff done and that she gonna get some money real quick. The banker was like, because you know he's scandalous too.
Yeah, that's the banker from last week.
Yeah. So he told me, oh, all your stuff check out. What you do for a living? What they got to do with anything? But anyway, she said, you know, I'm self-employed, investments, import, export. I said, oh, what you doing? You got hair coming in and out too, like me? So he was like, look, appraisals, all that stuff. It could take 30 days to get the cash in hand. But do you want me to proceed? She was like, go ahead. She walks out. He gets on the phone. He calls up to the FEMA jail. I need to see Jim Cryer.
Yeah, you need to set it up. You need to set it up now.
I said, all right. So then Catherine, she was dressed in red.
Yeah, she come to do war.
Red either means the blood of Jesus or the blood of sacrifice of the devil.
It won't the blood of Jesus, I'll tell you that.
So she runs up in there. DA, call my son. She was like,
I ain't calling him.
She said he changed his number. Call him. She was like, do you know that you released all that money to a drug head? My son, he's going to kill himself. She was like, oh, he passed a drug test.
She threw something at him. You know what that is? Nah, you don't know what that is.
Because you're stupid.
Because you're stupid. This is what the college kids use to pass the freaking drug test. They pee through the funnel. And all the drugs, anything in their pee becomes clean.
She said, let me tell you something. You gonna remember my name.
Filtration unit.
Yep. She said, you gonna remember my name, and my name is going to haunt you if anything happens to my son. She said, matter of fact, let me go ahead and give you some reassurance that I'm not the one to be played with. She said, you came here with this, that, the third. You got eggs,
frozen eggs.
You ain't never had no kids. What you're not fertile. You can't find no man. You can't get laid.
What she said, the eggs in D.C.?
The eggs in Washington.
The eggs are frozen in Washington.
She said, so if anything happened to my son, I will kill you and your eggs.
Yeah.
In the middle of the street.
All of y'all gonna turn up missing.
I said, darn.
Your eggs, your family, everybody.
She said, look, do you know my son is, what she said, meth, heroin, and cocaine head. I said, darn. He got all three.
You toe up, player. You toe, ain't no hope for you.
So that goddamn DA said, do you know that threatening me is a felony? She said, well, let me make this clear.
Here for you.
B! I will have you murdered.
In the streets. You and your family in the streets.
Including your eggs.
Yep.
Don't play with me.
Don't mind you. She was crying the whole time.
Soon as she left out there. This is why I cried. Yeah. This is why I cried. Look, do you have the warrant to get his phone? I need to track his phone. Oh, she's scared now.
So you better leave that FEMA jail and go find Wyatt and make sure he in two pieces, which we know he not because he had to freaking surrender and passed out.
Don't put that daggone stuff up in his vein and gone.
So your life is over.
O-V.
She said, then she left out there, she said, make sure you have a nice day because this might be your last.
I told y'all from the get, Catherine is not the one to be played with. I'm scared of her more than I'm scared of Candace.
Woo.
So Hannah runs over to Candace's house. She runs and Benny answered the door, which I was like, is she at Hannah? Which house she at?
I thought she was at Benny's. But
I was so confused.
Yeah.
But they having this meeting with the lawyers. Michael, they're trying to sue the Cries. Hannah walks in and shuts everything down. Boy, you ain't suing nobody. Benny was like, but I ain't made no decision. Benny, shut up. If you at the meeting, you done made a decision.
You done made a decision to sue.
Yeah, that's like if you standing there, like if somebody catch you in the hotel room with somebody. Well, I wasn't gonna sleep with her. Yeah, you was.
Yeah, you was.
You at the hotel.
You ain't gonna do it now because you got caught.
Yeah. So she put everybody out. The lawyer and Michael, everybody was like, well, yeah, I think it's about time for us to leave. So this way it got real good.
It turned left fast.
She said, look, that woman done paid all your hospital bills, Benny. And what her name is? Candace said, yeah, that's because they hit him.
Yeah.
And you knew about it. Yeah, you knew about it, Mama. No, I didn't.
No,
yes,
I didn't.
you did.
You lied.
Yeah.
You did know.
I said, Hannah, don't start with the lie.
Don't do it.
So Hannah said, look, they already paid you. They already paid you. Go ahead and tell it. Go ahead and tell it. How your sister done swindle all of this money up out of them. Done bought your house and your tow yard. $7.4 million. I said, ooh. She said, look, shut your damn mouth. I said, I'm done. I am done. So she said, let me come in and do what I need to do. And she got down on the knees and said, what you about to have a prayer?
Yeah, what you gonna do? But she begs and begs for Q.
And I said, and Candace looked like she was getting soft about it too.
Yes.
I said, is this gonna work?
I knew it was a game.
Is this gonna work? She said, little Quincy, he needs a stable home. He needs to go to church. He needs to be raised where he got some stability. He need nap time. I said, well, saying to myself, you ain't got
a nap time place for him. Your house is burnt down.
Quincy burned down.
Yeah, you got a house sitting up in your house.
I said, houseway, how?
Yeah, how? Yeah. Please riddle me that.
Then they got done. Candace said, I will let strangers raise my child before I let you raise them. I said,
damn.
And she said, it's funny how you on your knees. Because you being on your knees paid for this house. I said,
oh.
Slap.
Pack out.
Candace slapped her right back. Pack out. And they got to fighting. And Benny had to break them up. I said, oh my God, what is really going on? She said, what today is? What is the day?
Benny said Sunday.
What's the date?
The 14th.
This the day that I gave up on you. This the day that you put your hands on me. Don't you ever do.
But then she turned around and said, I prayed for you, and the Lord told me to stop praying for you. I said, what?
And she said, it's a bad thing when the Lord tells you not to pray for you, because that means that you were not under anybody's protection.
You ain't going to be covered in prayer. And Candace was sitting there, she was crying. I said, maybe she done broke her down. Did she break her down? She said, Hannah.
Who's covering you in prayer?
She said, I'm covered by the blood of Jesus.
And where's your house?
And where do you live?
Candace, you ain't right for that one.
Woo!
You going to hell for that. So David gets a phone call, right? But Jim thinks it's the phone call that she been popped. But no, it was somebody calling to give David the address to where his wife, Monica, lives.
That was Oscar.
So, was it Oscar?
Yeah, that was Oscar. He hired Oscar to find the address.
And he sure did.
Yep, that was Oscar.
So
Oscar
David
Mayer Weeder.
I'm mad at getting ahead of myself. So he runs up out of there to go to his wife's rescue. I'm over it. We see a little clip of Wyatt at the Sarandon Hotel, right? They done did Mr. Chow said, we done blow.
Oh, we done did that blow.
We knocked out, we upped up. So the people are partying around him. It took them all this time to realize that he face down, passed out, that he ain't responding to y'all. So they was like, oh, he ain't breathing. Wait a minute. What we gonna do?
Well, you know what we do. Boom. They stormed out there. So I ain't going down for this player.
So all that blow and all that partying got you left in a hotel room without a shirt on, dying by yourself.
Hung over the bed.
So I said, okay. So the banker goes to see Jim, like we said, like he said he was going to do. Jim comes in there with his arrogant stuff. What, Lloyd?
Yeah.
What do you want, Lloyd? First of all, you can talk to me like that when I'm trying to help you out. So
for real.
The banker was like, look, got some interesting news. Candace Young came to my bank today looking for a loan. How much? $2 million. What?
Huh?
She done blew 7.4 already?
Already?
It's like, yeah, she seemed pretty desperate too because she wanted the money in 48 hours.
She gonna say,
48 hours? Do you know you need collateral for something like that? Oh, she got it.
So she got freaking, what, 3 houses?
Two houses
in a tow yard.
He said,
oh, really?
He said, sure, she did good by that money.
Yeah.
He said,
give it to her.
Give it to her. To her?
Huh?
He said 48 hours? He said,
yeah, if even sooner. He said, me and my wife got the majority vote at the bank, right? He said, give it to her.
He said, but I just need you to do one thing. In real fine print, like real fine print, put in there a balloon of 15 days. That if ain't none of this paid back in 15 days, everything.
Take everything.
Gets foreclosed on. And I said, you's a nasty, dirty son of a bitch. So then we see Miss DeLong, the social worker. She going on up to Candace's house, scared to death, poor baby. She hands her over some racks of racks of racks, $55,000. She said that's all she can come up with. But your son is ready to be released out of the hospital. You gonna go see him? Get out.
Get out. Go.
But what should I tell them? Leave.
Leave.
Before I whoop your way again.
She pushed on out of you.
And Candace standing out there. And then all of a sudden it was like the freaking airport.
Yeah. Freaking Veronica pulls up. Then Jeffrey pulls up the other way. She's sitting in the truck. First.
I thought she was going to run on top of him, to be honest.
First, she called Maggie Day. Say, Maggie, you meet me over the house in 15 minutes? Maggie's stupid.
Just as dumb as she can be.
Stupid. You gonna
sure.
Yeah, stupid. You been messing with her man and you gonna go to her house? You dumb.
Nah.
You dumb. You ought to get killed it.
You killed it up like Grandma said.
You ought to get killed it. Then this demonical heifer gonna call the police. Somebody just broke in my house.
My neighbor's house.
My neighbor's house. Can you come check it out?
And I was like,
what?
So then she gets out the car and walks on over to Jeffrey. It was like, Come. This ain't your house.
Yeah. You don't live here.
So then, there go, Candace said, I didn't call for you. I don't need you. I can't fix your hair.
Yeah.
I said, here we go. She said, oh, you will want to for me to come in. It's about Quincy. Go on in the house.
Yep.
She said, nice place you got here. Is this where you been staying at, Jeffrey? Yes, he has. Oh, you can't speak for yourself, Jeffrey? You scared? You gonna testify against me? Yeah, I'm gonna testify against you and no, I'm not scared. She was like, nice place. So you buy your furniture by the room? No, I buy it by the house.
Boom.
She said, your furniture's sitting kind of low.
That's a knockoff.
I said.
Did she say like your hair?
I didn't catch that part. She might have said like your hair.
Because she threw a couple of hair jokes in there. I don't think it was part of the script.
No. So she said, Jeffrey, I want you to move in with me tomorrow. You and Melissa until this wedding. She was like, shouldn't you be worried about a trial? She said, no. I'm more worried about this wedding. She's like, you was one crazy psychopath B. She said,
You start throwing this water all over the place, Candace. So you better stop throwing that water off.
And she was like, what are you doing? She said, just go ahead and let me do it. Candace just loses it. Get out of my house, get out of my house.
She said, okay.
She leave. Candace said, what is she doing?
Right.
Something ain't right.
Jeffrey, cut the lights off.
This winch done threw luminol all over the place. All the blood splatter is showing up in neon colors.
Yep.
All over that living room. I'm like, Candace, you better get a carpenter in there right now.
Yeah.
I know a couple of them that'll do it for a couple and a couple of weed bags.
I know who do it for you for free. Thirsty.
I said, oh my God. So they was like, oh, she knows.
No, she knows, but
she
knows.
Like,
how does she know?
And she the devil.
Yeah, she know everything. But of course we know Queen told her.
So then the DA gets a phone call. Oh, we've tracked Wyatt's cell phone. To where?
You know it is
all of the criers hang out at.
You know he was at the Sarandon Hotel.
So hotel security goes to into Wyatt's room. Why they act like they didn't see him for like 2 seconds?
Yeah, they look this way, like you. Okay.
So then they finally go over there to the bed. Now he is laying on his face down, head down in a tilted motion. Even if he ain't passed out, the blood is rushing down to his brain. Y'all know something ain't right.
Yeah.
Oh, he don't have no pulse. But don't worry, cause Mr. Chow taught us in The Hangover that happens when you do blow.
He said your heartbeat stop. Read a book.
He said you hit blow, heart stop, you die, you come back again.
Read a book.
So I said he ain't dead. So then we see Veronica goes home. She goes up to the door. I said, Veronica, you just stupid. You know that they in there. But she goes and she unlocks the door. And at the same time we see the police officer.
Rolls up. Perfect timing, huh?
And she's like, oh, officer, Mr. Officer, Mr. Officer. And she was like, I'm the one who called. I saw someone going around to my neighbor's house. Well, do you know your neighbor? No, I just moved here. Da-da-da-da-da. And in perfect time, and here comes Maggie. They pulls up. Maggie!
Go on in.
Go on in. I'll meet you as soon as I'm finished with the officer.
But she had a strange look on her face like,
I know she up to something.
She up to something. I'm being set up because the police is here.
So Maggie's tail opens the door, and we see the guy.
He shoot. We don't know if she got shot or what. But I just got to say this. That player been in that house for a long time. He got to be funky, stinky. I don't know.
It's full of crap because I know he ain't took no dump.
He been hiding behind that piano for the last 2 years.
You know who that is? That's Lucius.
That was Lucius.
But yeah, it was a good one. I didn't expect the cliffhanger to be this weak, to be honest with you. It's kind of a weak cliffhanger for me compared to all the other stuff that they leave us with every time.
Yeah.
But I will say this. Tyler has been rewriting the scripts.
He had to be.
Because we don't have cast members tell us, look, we'll be on in a couple of weeks. We'll be on in a couple of weeks. And we ain't seen them cast members.
Nah, we ain't seen them. So
he's throwing us off.
Yeah, he got to be looking at our reviews and changing it because, you know, we figuring this stuff out. All of our reviewers, man, we on point. We know what's happening. Yeah. You can't fool us. You can't, like one of the boys, we know, you can't fool us. But I'm
going to tell you this, Tyler, if you watch, we'd be happy to come on staff.
Yeah, we can write a couple scripts for you.
I'll move to the A.
Yeah, we can do that for you. It's gonna cost you though.
Just send me an email, lifewithustv@gmail.com, randomtvreviews@gmail.com. I'll answer you.